I really wanted to make this video a couple weeks ago, but I was just too busy, and then other things in the game came up that I wanted to do videos on, like the Glorious Morn Crowns event. So I decided to go for that video instead of this one. But the video was going to be just me giving my thoughts on the first decathlon, on the ice decathlon, and what I thought of it, what I thought could be improved. And I'm finally doing that now with the announcement of the next decathlon, which is probably going to be on Monday. If you look at the Wiz launcher right now, it has this picture, well, this like little, I don't know what you call it, like tab on it that shows the Death Decathlon. Everyone pretty much knew it was going to be the Death Decathlon because that was the only other one that they went in and tested on Test Realm. So the only ones that we've seen on Test Realm were Ice and Death. This is the Death one. I actually made a video of it on Test Realm. I got to like stage 3, and I think I beat stage 3, but did not attempt stage 4 because I was going to save that for Live Realm. So here we are. This is Live Realm, and the Death Decathlon is probably going to be starting on Monday. So sometime next week, expect me to go through the whole thing and defeat stage 4, because going through the 4 stages is actually kind of difficult. Like, if you watched my Ice Decathlon all the way, beating it, it wasn't easy. I died a lot on the 4th stage. So, and there's rumors out there that they're making more than 4 stages. I don't know. If they do that, I hope they nerf the stages before and make it a little bit easier, because stage 4 is already kind of difficult. And trust me, people that are doing the decathlon and trying to get high leaderboard positions are not farming all the way through stage 4. They're just grinding the lower stages. That's like kind of how it goes. But so I wanted to give my opinions on the Ice Decathlon and the decathlons as a whole, and then also give some suggestions for how they could improve on it. I don't think any of my suggestions are going to make it into what we see on Monday with the Death Decathlon, because there's going to be 7 total decathlons, 1 for every school. That's the plan. Actually, we could run over to the I'm just going to go to the comments. We actually could run over to the library. Let me get a mount on, and you can see Kara. She's just chilling over there, and she will have the recipe for the Ultimate Hands of Fate, which is the Infinity Gauntlet. You know, like, that is the ultimate reward for doing the decathlon. Because let's be honest, there's not a ton of rewards for doing this, but one of like the main ones that they're advertising with it and that you can get is this Ultimate Hands of Fate. 1 for each school. We got Fire, Ice, Storm, Myth, Life, Death, and Balance, and they all combine into this one gauntlet, with the the 7 combining into 1, and then you get this, which just filters through all of them. So the next one is going to be the Death one. You're going to be able to get this one. Thing is, and one of my problems with the first decathlon was you can't even get the Freezing Hands of Fate, even though we've already had a Ice Decathlon. And that was one thing that a lot of people were upset with on the first decathlon, was the fact that you couldn't actually get this. There was no possible way. I don't think anyone in the game has the Freezing Hands of Fate, even though we've had an Ice Decathlon. And that's a problem, because how are we going to craft this thing? How are we going to craft the Ultimate Hands of Fate if you can't even craft one of these so far? And you can buy the recipe right now, 5,000 gold. She also gives the treasure card display and some transmutes for all these things. Keep in mind that I think she goes away. When there's a decathlon, all these go away because she isn't here. So that's one thing. If they could just leave her here during the whole decathlon, that'd be nice too. But you can't get the Freezing Hands of Fate. I don't think there's one person in the game that has this. Here's the recipe for it. If we go over to the equipment and wands, I have the recipe for it, but I just can't make it. I actually did the decathlon mostly on my Storm, so all the reagents I have are on that character, but you can trade them if you wanted to. But you have to craft the Elemental Hands of Fate. This one, the recipe's okay. It's not crazy difficult. You have to farm these improvement runes a little bit, but if you just keep farming, you'll eventually get all these things. So this recipe is not horrible, but this recipe is horrible. Like, this is actually very difficult to get. So I'm gonna go through it quick. You have to craft the other one to get to this. Augmentation rune, super easy. Improvement rune, pretty hard. These ones you have to farm for from certain bosses and try to get the drop rate. I mean, the drop rate's pretty low, but if you get the drop for that, you'll get it eventually. Strengthened runes, I have not heard of one person that got this. I don't know if this is dropping, which makes it impossible to craft this. So I don't think you can get these. Ultimate rune, these are the leaderboard ones. You have to place in a certain position on the leaderboard in order to even get these. I have 3 on this character. I think I have like 12 on my other character or something like that. But these are leaderboard only. Ice rune, super easy. Enhanced ice rune, pretty easy. Superior ice rune, I don't think these are droppable. I think these are only droppable from the packs. So these 2 items right here makes it pretty much impossible to even craft this. And that was one of people's main things that they didn't like about the Decathlon, was the difficulty in even crafting the main thing that they're advertising. If you look at a picture of the Decathlon and how they're advertising it, they show the wizard having these freezing hands of fate. They're wearing them because that would be one of the main draws to even do this Decathlon, is to go for these. You're going for cosmetic items. That's pretty much what it is. If you go for the leaderboard, you might go for the pet, which is top 25. Still pretty difficult to get. And what are the other rewards? There was the hamster pet, if you get like top 1,000 or something like that. So that one's way easier. And then top 10 was the gobbler mount. Trust me, I have the gobbler mount on my life. It's not a rare mount by any means. I have it right here. This is the gobbler mount. This is the top 10 reward, is you get this. And it's the same thing. I heard from a KI employee that it was supposed to be a different color, or it was supposed to be a different like version of the gobbler mount, but it wasn't. It was the same thing. So I don't know what the problem with that was, but for now, top 10 is just the same gobbler that you could buy in the crown shop for like 3,000 crowns in the past. Not rare at all. Like, I would not grind that hard to get this mount. The one good thing, the one good reward was the class pets, which I showed in one of my videos. Those pets are actually really good. The ice class pet was good. There's going to be one for every school as they do the decathlons, and those are fine. Those are actually, you know, very rare. You can't even hatch them out, so it's a very exclusive pet. But the other rewards, I'm not seeing it. The other rewards, I'm not seeing it. Here is the picture of the actual rewards, like the individual progress bar that you have to fill. They said that they're changing it, I think, to where you fill up the progress bar and then the last reward is supposed to be the hamster, so that you don't have to do the leaderboard for the hamster. I don't know if that's confirmed or not, or if that was just how the wording was on the website. But so one of the changes that I would love to see is that individual progress bar that you see right there. I wish that every leaderboard reward was just in that progress bar, and that as you leveled up or as you got points and you did the decathlon, you got all the rewards. The more points you get, the harder you grind on this, the more rewards you're going to get. It's not a competition against other people, because that is where it gets crazy. That is where we have people spending literally 50 hours plus during the week of the decathlon in order to grind and get to certain positions on the leaderboard. And for top 10, it was over 50. I don't know how many hours people in the top 10 spent to get that position, but it was definitely, I would say, over 60 hours for the whole week. And that's just constantly going through, you know, consistently buying TCs and then going back in, and you just grind. You just do, you know, the first couple stages, keep grinding it, and you keep getting points, and you just do it over and over again for hours. There was people out there that I heard were not sleeping for a certain amount of hours in order to do the decathlon overnight. And then, you know, you're missing out on sleep, you're missing out on like daily activities. If you have a job, if you have a job that you work, you know, 8 hours a day during the weekdays, you will not be able to get that class pet. The ice class pet is reserved for only the people that spent pretty much their entire week doing the decathlon. And otherwise, you're out of luck. You're not able to get the class pet because you have a job. You're not able to spend as much time as all the other people because it's a time thing. They keep saying in like the I remember the community live stream and everything that it's a resource investment to be able to do this decathlon. But honestly, it's a time investment. Yes, time is a resource, but gold isn't a problem in this game. A lot of people have millions and millions of gold, and you know, gold can be easy to farm for. So gold isn't really a problem at max level. But time, that is what it comes down to. Everyone has tons of gold if you're high level. Top 10 people probably have millions of gold. It's not that big of a deal, but the time investment. Then it comes down to like, okay, who's going to grind this the longest? Who actually wants this pet so bad that they're willing to spend their entire week going for it? And that's where I see a big problem. People are spending so much time going for these things, actually ruining their schedules and everything. And probably, honestly, doing that for that long could be a health issue at some point by just consistently sitting down and doing this over and over again. That probably will lead to some kind of issue. And like, I know Tara grinded for the ice pet, and it took her a week to recover from just like the sleep deprivation and everything like that. So it's actually an issue. I know you can argue like, oh, but you're making that choice to do that. And that's true, but the rewards are there for people that grind this. Like, the rewards are exclusive and people want these rewards. Like, that's the incentive. But the incentive is there, and then this is like what it takes to actually get that. And because you're competing against other people that are also grinding it and going for, you know, certain rewards. Because you have to beat out the other people in order to get the rewards. I would love for them to put all the things on the leaderboard into that progress bar. And then they can keep the leaderboard. The leaderboard's fine. But just have the leaderboard be there as like a thing where you can look at and see who's top 10. But the points don't actually matter once you get into the top 10 because it just shows your name. That's it. That would be great because then there's a stopping point. You know, the decathlon is infinite. You can play this as many times as you possibly can in that week. The only limit is the week, is the time limit. So I think that would be a good solution, is to just find kind of a balance on, okay, this reward is this many points, top reward is this many points, because the leaderboard last time, top 10 was over 10,000 points. Getting 10,000 points is no joke. That's actually very difficult. I think I think the first place was like 18,000 points, which is ridiculous. But I think they should find like how many points they think each reward is worth, like a reasonable amount, and like kind of tie that into how many hours it would take to get to that. Like, how many hours does King Zao want people to actually spend on this decathlon in order to get the best rewards? Is it 40 hours? Do they want people spending 40 hours a week basically treating the decathlon as their job in order to get the rewards? I don't know. What's the plan? Like, right now they have it as infinite. Like, you can do it as many times as you want, as many times as you possibly like physically can. I would love to see them change it to where, okay, you want this pet, it's this many points, and you're gonna know how many points you get per run, so you can do the math and be like, it'll take this many runs. And if it's a top tier item, it could take 1,000 runs, but at least you would know that. In the last decathlon, you didn't know how many runs it would take. All you knew was that there's other people that are grinding it out, trying to beat you for your spot. If you were number 25 and you went to bed Sunday night, you probably would lose your spot because the 26th person can see how many points you have, and they might spend the whole night trying to beat you to get 25. And then guess what? You wouldn't get the pet in the morning because the event ends at 8 a.m. So people were going overnight in order to do it, which is crazy. I actually really like the decathlon events, and I'm excited for what they do in the future with it. I'm just hoping that they make the right changes to make the decathlon more fun for everyone. Because, yes, it's going to be a grind no matter what, but at least it would have a grind where you know what the end could be. Because as of right now, for people that want top spots, the end is just when the event ends. So that is one change that I would love to see made, because the decathlon can be really fun. And I like the community progress bar where it goes better, you know, and best loot and all that stuff, because I think that's good. They need to fix some bugs where the reagents aren't dropping to be able to actually craft the items that are supposed to be in the decathlon. Like, people worked really hard to try to craft these, and it's just not possible because these aren't dropping. But that's going to do it for me in this video. I hope I kind of laid out everything that I was thinking on it. There's a lot to talk about, so I hope it made sense. But overall, I do like the decathlon. I think it's a good event. I just know that it can be better, and I want it to be better. On Testrum, I feel like not as many people even went through it, especially the Death Decathalon. I feel like not as many people went through it, and they weren't sure what the balancing should be for it. But now that we've seen the first Ice Decathlon event, now we know for sure that, okay, these need to be readjusted. The wand needs to be easier to craft, and the leaderboard rewards need to be reduced or taken away. Or they could allow more people, like top 100, to get the death pet or the ice pet. I feel like that could be a good solution too. So let me know what you guys think of the decathlon if you did it. If you didn't, then well, you have a chance to do it on Monday next week when it starts up again, because they are going to be doing it, and we're going to be seeing the decathlons all the time in the future. So that is why I want it to be better. I want the decathlon to be better because we're going to be seeing it a lot. This will be like an ongoing event where it'll be like, oh, now we got the Storm Decathlon or the Myth Decathlon, and they'll be running them pretty frequently, I would hope, once they get it all sorted out. But that is going to do it. Please leave a big like if you guys enjoyed this video. Show your support on it. Subscribe if you haven't for more Wizard101 videos. Next week, I am going to be doing that Death Decathalon video. No matter how many stages it is, I'm going to try to beat it. Hopefully, it's just 4. I hope they don't change that yet, but we'll see. So let me know what your feedback is in the comments on the event as a whole, and I'll see you guys next time.